Today we're at Resistance Nest Millbrook. Behind me here you can see as it were, the sharp end of the bunker, an anti-tank gun mounted behind armoured placing, firing across the beach. Let's go and have a look inside to see what it's all about underground. Down into the entrance of the bunker here, this is really interesting. This is original writing from the occupation, never been painted over. It's effectively German propaganda, to be honest. Führer befiehlt, wir folgen. The leader, the Führer commands, we follow. So this was the inspiration for the crew of this particular bunker as they came into work each day on their duty. Let's go actually into the main part of the bunker here. And what we've got here is the crew room. This really is my favourite little bunker. It is a small bunker, and what's unique about it as far as bunkers in Jersey, probably I think even in the Channel Islands, is that inside is pretty much original. All the wall coverings, all the equipment, all the doors are the original ones that the Germans left behind. It's never been ripped out. Even the 75-year-old pin-up girl, the remains of a picture on the wall. The crew of this bunker lived in their billet across the road. They would only ever sleep in these bunks if the island was put on alert and there were action stations waiting for an imminent attack. That in fact happened for the 2 weeks following D-Day, but otherwise it was just normal day-to-day duty. So why have we got our friend here sleeping in the bunk? Well, the reason for that is that once the Allies had landed in Normandy, retaken Normandy, broken out of Normandy and recaptured Brittany, the Germans here were cut off. And the English, Prime Minister Churchill said, starve them out, blockade the island, they'll soon surrender. Well, the Germans didn't. But no food was coming in. So the Germans their rations were reduced, the civilians, their rations were reduced. The civilians got Red Cross parcels by the end of 1944, but the Germans didn't. So in fact, the German orders for troops was that when they come on duty, they should actually lie down in their bunks for 3 hours during their duty to conserve energy by reason of the lack of food. So quite incredible. Soldiers coming on duty, but actually then going to bed. Let's move across into the gun room, and on the way, just have a quick look in the plant room. All the standard sort of equipment, the ventilation equipment, like all German bunkers, it's equipped and protected against gas attack. Each of those cylinders would be able to purify different gases, and these were either run by electricity or could be cranked by hand. As I think I've said on one of the other virtual tours, gas was never used in the Second World War, so all of this equipment was a total waste of effort, resources. Now, here we've got the anti-tank gun, which we were talking about earlier. This is the original type of gun. It's not the original gun from the bunker. Obviously, at the end of the occupation, the guns around the Channel Islands were removed by the British Army, and the one in here would have been removed. However, this particular example, it's the same type, was discovered in Normandy and purchased by the Society and remounted in here. So it is effectively the same type of gun that would have been used here. It's a Czech gun, 47mm cannon, and this here is the size of shell that it would have fired. Normally probably armoured piercing because it's designed to fire and protect the land from tanks landing on the beach. Like many of the guns mounted along the Atlantic Wall, particularly in the Channel Islands, most of the guns were captured guns. So we had French guns and we had Czech guns. These came from the border between Czechoslovakia and Germany. Germany, remember, acquired all these guns in 1938 and all the resources to manufacture them as well. So this, in fact, is a Skoda. Good gun. The Czechs made very well made guns and equipment. In fact, even the British Bren gun was based on a Czech design. On top of it, we've got a 7.92mm machine gun, again of Czech manufacture, and the whole gun can be elevated by turning this handle, which is quite stiff, or traversed, turning that handle there. Now, the gunner who fires the gun, he would be here, and he's also effectively the gun aimer, and he's looking through the sights here, and he's looking basically at the crosshairs through the sights and firing that. He might use the machine gun to assist him, particularly if it's at night, firing tracers to assist aiming, but generally speaking, he's firing through there, and he fires by squeezing this trigger. He can fire both the machine gun and the main gun. The main gun itself can be fired effectively automatically at quite a fast rate of fire, and as the shell is fired, the shell would be ejected and it would shoot down this chute here, and you can see the chute which goes down into the floor below. Underneath here is a completely separate room to catch all the empties. Because the level of the sand and the beach is about the same level as this floor, there was no space to eject them out of the bunker themselves. So they built a custom room underneath just to collect the ammunition. And similarly, all the spent machine gun bullets would go down the same tube downstairs. You wouldn't want your gun crew rolling around on empty cartridges. In front of the gun, it was possible to wind down an armoured plate, and here we've got the original mechanism, and it still works. We can wind down an armoured plate in front of the gun barrel. Like many other bunkers where you've got a weapon mounted behind armoured plating, the practical problem of this is actually how on earth do you see out to aim the weapon? As we've already seen looking through the gunner's sight, it's a fairly restricted field of view. So the gun crew need direction as to where the target is and where to fire. And that's why we've got a telephone right next to the gun here, which the gun aimer can pick up, and he is then linked to another member of the crew at the back of the bunker in the observation turret. So just coming through the entrance defence area of the bunker, obviously a standard part of all bunkers, and then into the turret. And this is where another member of the crew would be at the top of this turret here, up on the platform up there. There's a steel turret, and he would look out to try and determine where targets were, and he would be on the phone back to the gun crew, telling them where to fire the gun. He at least has the benefit of an armoured turret. In many cases, weapons bunkers around the islands and in the Atlantic Wall only have open observation positions, and so that German soldier would be head and shoulders over the top of the bunker, looking out with no protection at all. Resistance Nest Millbrook is a small bunker, but it makes up for that in many other respects. It's unique. It's so original. It's almost like walking in the day after the Germans have been taken off the island. I think you can probably understand why it's my favourite bunker. I hope you enjoyed this virtual tour. Join us again for the last of our tours at Corbière.